Hey everybody, this is my probably the last video I'm going to make on this. It's an HP MS200 227. I've made a couple of videos on this online already, cleaning the fans and saying I couldn't get to the big fan that was underneath. We're going to do that today. And also I'm going to show you how to take out the motherboard, and people have been asking me about the graphic card. So the first thing we got to do, we don't need to take out the hard drive, we don't need to have to take out the RAM, but we have to take these screws out. Including the screw down there for the CD-ROM drive. We do need to remove the CD-ROM drive. Alright, we're going to, something to have, a nice useful tool is these mechanical fingers. Alright, so you can grab things like that and set it aside. Alright, so down on the bottom there is a really long screw. I'm going to unscrew that guy. I don't know if it's loose or not. I think it is. It's being a little stubborn. Being a little stubborn today. What's going on here? There we go. That's that screw that was a pain to do. Alright, we're going to stick a screwdriver down there. A little silver thing down there, way down under there. We're going to push that way. We're going to go that way with it. And out comes this CD-ROM drive. I covered that one time before, but just in case. We're going to pull this thing out. Set it aside. We need to do that because you can't have the CD-ROM drive in to remove this back case. We're taking this whole back case off. We're going to slide the cover off. We're not removing the tray for the hard drive. We got to come over here and remove the screw in the cover to the memory. I don't have any memory in here either. Like I might have stated, the motherboard is bad. It works and everything. It just burns up, believe it or not, hard drives. 5 hard drives in 2 months. That's ridiculous. Alright, so that's off. That's only because we need to get in there and do some things. Another thing that has to come off is this guy. Alright, there's a tray underneath, and I just reviewed one of my videos, and this is in there too. We don't really care a whole lot about this, but so I do care actually. You're going to stick a screwdriver underneath that tab and stuff. Alright, when you go to put this back in, you have to go in the keyway underneath. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. Even if maybe I get the light down in there, you might be able to see. There's a keyway, and we'll cover this on the reinstallation. Okay, so there's 3 screws there. When you push this thing down, you got the 3 screws right there. So we're going to unscrew those. Now you're going to pull this towards you and up. That's because there's channels in there. And it's something I covered before, but there's a channel in there that you have to go through to put this thing back on. Alright, I've done a few trial runs, so I'm really hoping this is inside the screen. I turned it upside down to where the HP is upside down here. The area where the stand was is right here, the hard drive's over here. We're going to push in and pull out. Okay, so until we hear one click, and there it is. So over on this side, you're going to put your finger in and start pulling this part that way and this part this way. And separate all the clamps in there. Alright, so you can see just how hard this is to do. Imagine having to do this every time you have to clean the fans. Or, better yet, change the BIOS battery, reset the password, or anything like that. So the back's off. Alright, now we have the back off and the foot off. We're going to take a walk around this first. Unlike the other videos with this that I've done, we do not need to remove the motherboard itself. We might have to take this, we will have to take this cover off. But we're going to look around, see what needs to be disconnected that's hooked up to the bottom. Alright, so let's go on this side first. We have a ground wire that's hooked up. Okay, and actually comes off the board. So this guy right here has to be disconnected. Okay, so that's the ground wire. Alright, and I want to catch that screw and set it over there. We have a plug here that has to come off. Alright, so this is actually for the display, or the buttons on the side for the CD-ROM drive. So we need to back this guy off, a little bit on each side to take it off. Alright, let's come around. Alright, while we're on this side, okay, we want to be careful we don't move the monitor to where the screen is touching any screws. So I'm going to move the other screws out of the way over here as I move it around. Alright, while we're on this side, this has a number 5 on it over here. I'm constantly looking in the camera to make sure that you can see this. This one over here has a number 6 on the bottom. These are what's holding this board down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this out. These screws while we're at them. Anything that has a number on it, we're going to take out. These you need to put in its own side, its own spot. They are very particular screws. They look like machine screws because of very wide threads. We need to actually keep these in its own little stack. I like all these where the other screws are laying down. Those are standing up. Alright, so we're going to go to number 5 over here. Take this screw out. Okay, we're going to work our way to the left. Alright, now these 2 screws don't have numbers on them. So I'm not going to worry about those. Alright, and then we're going to come around. We have is there any other numbers that's holding this down? That's going there. I don't think there's anything underneath the CD-ROM drive. This is number 8 here. So we have 5, 6, and number 8 on the corner. Alright, so I actually felt that whole thing move. Alright, the screws were taken off. Indeed, you could feel the whole thing moving. This looks like either number 6. Was that number 6? Over there? I don't know if that was a number 6 or a number 5. Let's see what that was. Bring the light over. That's the number 6. This is number 9 over here. So I guess we're looking at it as if we were over on this side here. So that's number 9. We're going to take that one off. Now it's something that you see on this end is your WAN antennas, your wireless network, access network. That's an antenna there, and there's one like that on the other side over there. Those are your antennas. We're not moving those at all. Okay, but we have a wire that goes underneath. I'm kind of worried about that. That's the wire that goes around to the CD-ROM plug, and also it comes up here. But I think all this is the one that comes up here. So I'm going to take this plug off. You squeeze down, you pull it back. It's got a little tab right there, so you squeeze this down and pull it back. But it's so tight here. What I'm going to do is try and pull this wire around out the harness. We got to remember to put it back now. Everything I'm doing here, you're doing in reverse. I don't think I'm going to be putting this back together. So what you do is you could download this video if you want. I'm kind of against that. But if you want to, and then you could play it in reverse. Go back in reverse on that. Okay, so what I did is I gave myself some more room here, and then we just pull this guy out. He's a stubborn one. There's a keyway that has to be lifted up. Okay, so I'm going to get in there and lift up the keyway, and I'm going to wiggle it back and forth. Okay, there we go. That's a long set of pins. So now when this lifts up, this piece of wire can go through. That's the reason why we're going to doing a little walk around here. Now, typically over here, we have all the screws to this plate in. I have the screws removed. I only have one up here. I'm going to take this one out because we will have to get down here in here to remove some plugs. In fact, if we could just lift up this without actually removing this whole thing, that screw doesn't want to come out. That's fine, it can stay there. If if we lift this up and we unplug these two plugs right here, okay, and there's another wire that's going down. That's a wireless network. We do have to take this off because we have to unplug the wires to the network. And I really hope we don't have to go underneath that motherboard. Which, oh my goodness, if we have to pull out the motherboard, that's going to be bad. Alright, so we need to get to those. Let's go ahead and pull this screw that's holding the plate down. Okay, that's a machine screw. It looks just like those. Okay, and that's, let's say it's number 10. There's another one over here on the corner. It's right there. Take that one off. Looks just like those. Bring this up, making sure when I lift it up that no screws went underneath it. Got a piece of tape here. We're going to lift this up to make sure nothing's there. We have two screws on the sides again. I'm thinking that's holding the LCD screen in place. We have screw number 3 here. We have a grounding wire right here. That's right above the speaker. Actually, yep, right above the speaker. I'll take that out. That's going to go in a different stack of screws. So that's going to stay with the speakers. That grounds out the speakers itself. Screw number 4 is behind the speakers. And now you're going to have all the screws in the top on this cage to take off. I only have 2 screws, but I can tell you where they are. Alright, there's one screw. Oops, sorry about that. I just hit the. Let's bring that back over. Okay, one screw here, one screw there. There's another screw over here, and a couple of. Just look around. Anything that's touching this screen, right? This thing right here. I'm going to take the one screw I have in out. And just like in my other videos, I say that having a set of fingers works great, mechanical fingers. It grabs the screw. It does a beautiful job. All right, you're going to have tape holding it down. I have the tape pulled back. That's the underside. We will not have to remove anything here. These 2 plugs on top of the network, the wireless network, have to come out. I really hope we don't have to pull this board to do this. All right. I want to make sure nothing else is going down. The only thing that, this is your video, this is your microphone or your camera on top with your mic. So that comes out. This one comes out. All right. That's what I wanted to get to before from the other side. There is a ground wire right there. It needs to be taken out. That's actually part of the motherboard. Be a little bit more gentle with the motherboard than I'm doing with this. This is a bad motherboard. That's why I'm ripping this thing apart. Okay. Don't think we'll have to do anything here. I do want to remove these 2 screws down here because they should go all the way through. They don't look like those other screws. All right. So I just want to take those out because I am so sure that those are at the base holding this thing down. Okay, now we have all the screws out that I can see around the sides. We should be able to lift this up. There is a lot of movement. So what I'm going to do is, I've never done this before, okay? So my guess is that these 2 screws here have something to do with pulling this out. Oh, there's a screw there that has a number on it. That's number 2. Number 2 is underneath the motherboard. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're going to have to pull the motherboard. Not something that I wanted to do again. Alright, so with that thought, the screw's underneath the motherboard. We got to pull the motherboard out. Let's take this, the mounting tray off. Okay, that's going to go over this side. So, alright, here we go with the removal of the motherboard. Let me bring this back over this way. Alright, we're going to use the small Phillips head, and we're just going to go around. Alright, we need to unplug all the plugs. I have how to put this motherboard back in on another video. It's called installing the motherboard on this computer. Just unplug all the plugs. We already got these. Just and there's one underneath that. So we need to back this off. The way to do this is back this off, and we're not going to bend it at all, but we need to back it off enough to get to that screw. I don't want to take the processor off, so we're just going to back that off, get under there, and it's a chore to do. I don't want to have to take the fan off, so we're just going to bend this back and get that screw out. Do not bend that copper too much. Alright, we got our fingers to grab that. And set that back. Okay, so that's how you get that thing. Set that back there. So if it won't come out if there's anything that's missing. We have a plug to unplug, that big plug right here. We're going to back it out this way. Okay, and all you're going to do is push on one end, providing we have all the screws out. Am I missing? There's one right there. And you're probably seeing it all the time. Don't think there's too many more. Screw right there. So we're going to back it out. That's done. Those are out. We got one more harness right here to back off. There's a harness right here we need to back off. And there is your motherboard. Set that out on a very like an ESD bag. If you need to, turn it over so no circuitry is touching your table, a carpet, or anything else. All right, so just set that aside. This is what we need to get to. All right, so we have a harness that goes underneath, but see it's around an opening. So we need to get this up. It's just tape, and bring it up like that. Okay, that goes to your display. And that's exactly the kind of cable that goes to the display. The LCD is right on the other side of this plate, and I'm wondering if it's actually attached to the plate. All right, so that's something, an area that I don't see very often. So we're going to take out screw number 2 that we couldn't get access to. Okay, that's another sheet metal screw. Oh, it's lifting up. Look at that. We have separation. Let's see what's holding us in. Let's turn it this way again. We have that side is separated. Let's see what's holding us in. Probably these wires are holding us. So we have tape here. The way I get this tape up is you stick a round, Phillips head screwdriver in there and you lift up. Okay, be careful you don't stab yourself. And try doing it without breaking it. You can always put electric tape in there. Okay, but we need to get this thing unwrapped, the tape, and bring this around. We have all of our wireless network cables that have to come out. There's a clip right here. You have to lift it up and pull it out. Just pull it out. And there's a harness here that once again you pull open and you wrap around. Those are staying with the very front panel. So now let's see if we can lift up in the back. There's two clips right here holding it in. You have to pull back this way, or it pushes forward. Let's see if we can pull it back. I'm thinking it pushes that way to come out. So you have cellophane or foil tape holding the antennas on. So I need to try and pull those back. That's what I'm doing now. I might need a knife of some sort. You want to be real careful with knives around here, because that's what it looks like. Is these are have some kind of foil tape on there. So just be careful when you're taking them off. I'm not going to use a knife. It's just going to take a while taking them off. You could use them again. They stay sticky. Alright, so just set that aside. Try to get this one off. Alright, set it aside. You want nothing holding this thing down when it comes up. Okay, so we have movement on this side, but this bracket and this bracket's holding it in. And they don't look like they're bendable to actually pop out. So let's rotate it again. Let's see what else is holding us. So this is a different kind of screw that's on that. Now I had to drill this screw out because whoever worked on this before stripped out the screw and didn't bother about doing anything about it. So as you can see down inside the hole, the rest of the screws there, and that hole probably never be used again. So gratefully I'm disposing of the rest of this thing. I'm just getting the LCD screen out, the screen itself. Anyway, notice all the scrap sheet metal all over the place. Whenever you do this on a computer, before you do anything else, you have to clean it up. You don't want to scratch a screen, another part, or sheet metal. It is continuity. It can short out the motherboard too, or any other circuit boards like that one up there for the CD-ROM drive. All right, so let me go ahead and clean that up. All right, I want to show you something real quick. That was now that we got over that task with the stripped out screw. There's black tabs here. There's one on this side, and there's one over on this side. I used to think pulling this back and lifting up was the way to go, but it's not. It's actually grabbing it from this side over here and lifting up. And then you're going to pull that way and pull it out. And it unsnaps. And then you pick this thing up, it should come right out. And there is the screen. That's a very fragile part. This is the way, without the extra gear on the back, this is how I would ship it off. Just give them the whole plate. I'm not going to take it out. The side screws is the ones, those side screws on the side there is what's holding that on. There's no other clips or anything going onto the monitor. So I would clean this all up, and that's the plug for the monitor right there. I pointed that out when we pulled out the motherboard. So bad part is you would have to remove the motherboard. I'm going to strip these two things out. That's pretty cool, I think. SATA plugs, a female and a male. There's got to be something I can use that for. I'm going to sell the fan on eBay, and I don't know if I want to do the interface for the CD-ROM drive. I'll probably just sell the CD-ROM drive on eBay. So keep an eye out for those. By the time a month goes by, it'll probably be gone. So the problem with this monitor is actually finding a package and something to really put it in that's going to be this big. So I would have to find a box. And down on the bottom here of this are your two speakers. So I don't know if that would be any good to anybody, those two speakers right there. But whatever you do with this monitor is very fragile. So be careful what you put on this, how you lay it down, what touches it. All right, for storage, I'm going to have it face up, and I'm going to have it facing the wall so nothing actually touches it. Hope you liked the video. Remember, play it in reverse if you want to actually do a reassembly. I'm not putting this thing back together. I've done that enough times. in the other videos. So have a good day, and once again, it's Christmas Day 2013. Merry Christmas to you all. Have a Happy New Year. Bye now.